There was literally a giant sign that said, "Do not leave valuables in your car." Well, guess what we had in our car, absolutely exposed to everyone? Our valuables. Hi, and welcome to my channel. Baby is down for a nap. It's a beautiful day, and we're only a few days away from moving across the country. So I figured, what better time to tell you about our last cross-country move while I do my makeup at the same time. Why, you may ask? Because when I tell you everything that went wrong. And am I exaggerating? I don't know. You tell me at the end of this video. If you've been watching my shorts, you already know that my husband, our dog, and basically all of our belongings left about 3 days ago to drive to Tennessee. Well, he finally made it. And Jojo and I fly out in just about 5 days. So before we start this next chapter, let's talk about the
absolute disaster
of our last trip. So, quick backstory before I get into the drama, the tea. My husband and I actually lived in Austin, Texas for about a year and a half, and it was our first time living together, and we thought,
do it in a brand new state.
His brother lived there. I had family nearby. Everything was great. I had a job. I had friends finally. But then in 2024, my husband's dad was diagnosed with cancer. And unfortunately, he passed away. We decided to move back to California to help his mom through this difficult time, which is actually this house, the house I am filming in right now, and that we were currently living in before moving to Tennessee now. So we were already moving because of something really heartbreaking, which made everything that happened next feel 10 times worse. So picture this. It's a few days before we're supposed to leave. We're packing up the house and my husband wakes up and he says,
"Oh, honey, I don't feel good."
I look at him and I'm like, yeah, you don't. And when I tell you this man never gets sick, he literally never gets sick, like ever. So of course he gets deathly sick, right? Of course, right before we're about to drive 22 hours. And I kept telling him, maybe we should wait. Maybe we should leave another day because only the smartest people would do that, right? But he was determined, so we packed anyway. And here's where we made our first mistake. We didn't rent a U-Haul, no trailer, nothing. We somehow convinced ourselves that we can just pack up our entire life into my husband's already very compact truck. Furniture, boxes, our dog, 2 cats. Looking back, that should have literally been our first warning. The next morning we leave. My husband still feels absolutely awful, but we're hoping maybe things will get better once we're on the road. Wrong. We're driving through the middle of nowhere, Texas, and I see one of our boxes fly out of the car. Immediately, I start screaming. My husband slams on the brakes, makes a U-turn through the center divider, jumps out of the car, and runs towards the box. Now, you're probably wondering, well,
what was in it? What was in it that was so important?
Just about everything important. My birth certificate, my childhood photo albums, jewelry, my purses, basically every sentimental thing that I owned. My husband is waiting for traffic to stop so that he can go and grab the box after he was running around trying to grab every paper or picture that he could find. And then one semi-truck changes lanes and runs directly over it. Stupid fly, get out of my face. I swear to this day, it was on purpose. So yeah, just about everything exploded. Photos, paperwork, jewelry, just everywhere. I literally completely lost it. Okay, sorry, I need to do this real quick. You guys, doing makeup and telling a story is really hard. I commend y'all. Anyway, I'm sitting in the truck, absolutely bawling. Meanwhile, my poor husband, who can barely stand because he's so sick, is running around the highway trying to save whatever he can. He gets back in the truck, is apologizing over and over again, and I am just crying for hours. I'm like, my stuff. How am I ever going to replace this stuff? Anyway, eventually we make it to our hotel in New Mexico. And you guys, this place looked so sketchy. There was literally a giant sign that said, "Do not leave valuables in your car." Well, guess what we had in our car, absolutely exposed to everyone? Our valuables. And you guys, it was so late, like we couldn't find anywhere else to stay. So what did we do? We lugged all of that stuff up 2 flights of stairs into our hotel room. Mind you, my husband is still absolutely sick. Oh, and we have our 2 cats and dog too. And what do we have to do in the morning when we've already brought everything up? We have to bring it back down. How long after we fell asleep did we have to do that? 4 hours. We only had 4 hours of sleep and then had to lug everything else back down. We finish out the day, we get back to California, and I'm like, surely the worst is over, right? Right? Wrong. We're unpacking and everything seems okay until I notice something. One of my boxes is missing. What box, might you ask? My entire wardrobe. That was all in one box. To this day, I have no idea where that box went. Nope. No idea where that box went. Honestly, at that point, I was like literally laughing. I was laughing because I was like,
Oh, this is just what happens to me. This is just my luck, right?
looking back now, it was definitely one of the most stressful experiences we've ever had. But honestly, I feel like it's also changed my perspective. Losing my childhood photos will always hurt, but everything else, it was just stuff. You know, things can be replaced. People can't, memories can't, and I honestly think that's what really matters, right? Now, we're getting ready to move across the country again. So let's all just collectively hope that this one goes a little smoother, especially since it's my baby's first flight. If you made it all the way to the end, thank you. Seriously, it means the world to me. I promise you, I'm going to get better at these. I probably shouldn't have been talking while applying these. Anyway, it means so much to me that you're watching my first ever YouTube video. Like I said, JoJo and I will be flying to Tennessee, so I will be making that my very first long form vlog. I'd love for you to come along, so if you haven't already, subscribe to my channel, and I will see you in the next one.